Hello everyone, this is Direwolf20 and welcome to episode 88 of Direwolf20's Let's Play series. I have what I think is going to be kind of a cool build for today, but we're going to get started with it right about now. Getting myself some plastic sheets and I'm making myself a bunch of laser drills. That looks good to me. So I've got in total a dozen laser drill pre-chargers, and I've got 3 laser drills ready to go. You might be thinking, whoa, Direwolf, hold on a second. I thought you said these things cost a lot of power. I mean, you're making a lot of power, but you're not making that much power. Don't worry, Direwolf has a plan. We're going to get started taking a look at what kind of cool stuff we can do with laser drills, and I'm going to build an automated system that's going to keep me stocked up on stuff that I don't necessarily have enough of at the moment. So let's do a couple things. First things first. Let's figure out where we're going to put this darn thing, huh? Now, I did kind of plan for this room to eventually have maybe more, potentially more, turbine controllers going in it, right? So obviously, turbines are running beautifully. They're humming along, producing 23,000 RF per tick. Our energy capacitor here is sitting right around a decent marker there. And as it's filling up on energy stored, the reactor is online, the steam is cooking, core temperature is good. So we're going to keep this thing here, and what we may eventually have, and I mean, we might up to eventually have 3 of them, so like maybe one down this pathway and then one down this pathway, just a few more turbines. That's a potential possibility for something that may or may not happen in the future, I don't know. So to prevent against that possibility, and wow, we're using 1200 RF per tick. Wow, that's a lot of RF. 1000? Really? Is that what we're using there? Yeah, we're sitting around 1200 RF per tick. All right, so where's all that extra power going? I must have forgotten about some new power system I added because I didn't think I was using that much lately, but You're not online, are you, Mr. Controller thingy? Probably not. I'm just going to run a cycle real quick to make sure. Refresh coordinates, everything's cruising. Oh, you know what's probably running? I know it's probably running. We might have, well, these things are done cooking too, so I don't know where all the extra power is going. Somewhere. Probably installed something recently that I'm just derping on and forgetting about. But anyway, so our plan then is if this produces, what was it, 23,000-ish total, I'm going to need about 20,000 for my laser drills. So maybe we go downstairs. Come on now. Oh, that's right. I don't have a new downstairs. So let's go downstairs and consider maybe clearing it up. Or do I want to put it somewhere else? Tricky to decide where I want things sometimes. Yeah, I guess underneath this area should do. So let me go down here, clear out a bit of terrain. It doesn't need to be a huge amount of space, but I mean, we're definitely going to want some space here. Do I have an elevator handy by chance? One of these days I'll just teach it how to make elevators because I do eventually want them, but it's alright, we'll get there. So maybe right about here, probably wouldn't be a terrible spot for this automated laser drill pre-charger system that I have planned. All right, I'm going to clear this out just manually real quick because it'll probably be quicker just to clear it out with a hammer than anything else. I don't need a ton of space down here. All I really need it to do is have a little bit of space for the purposes of what I have planned. So we'll be back in a minute. All right, this room ought to do. So let's put away some of the junk that we don't need in our inventory anymore and build our laser drill pre-charging system. Now I have a rough idea of how I want this whole thing to come about, but let's plan for what we're going to need for the beginning stages. So the first thing we're going to need is a laser drill, and then we're going to need some laser drill pre-chargers, and for some reason these two just aren't stacking. Probably, you know what, some had RF stored in it, that's probably why. Yeah, energy stored, 96K RF. So probably from the power charger thingy. That explains why they're not stacking actually rather well. So let's say that we wanted one here with a drill here. Maybe I should move it back here then. I'll grab a stack of cobble for representing this as well. So that might be one drill system, right? And then we're probably going to want a second drill system here, here. So that tells us we're definitely going to want to clear out a little bit more terrain. So if that's half of what I need. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right, I'm gonna have to go twice as much. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Back in a minute. All right, guys, unless I'm wrong, I think this looks pretty good. So we've got good stuff going on here. Let's get our laser drills and all this other stuff ready to roll. What we're going to probably have then is the laser drills in the center. So let's dig straight down to bedrock. You know the old adage, never dig straight down? Probably still applies, but I should be okay. Almost there. Cool. So we're going to set up one of these, and then we'll set up the rest so that you guys can kind of see how they work in case those of you out there who don't know how this goes. So laser drill goes in the center. It needs to see bedrock. So you must be able to see bedrock with your laser drill. By the way, that laser hurts. It's a laser that's mining. It's going to hurt you if you walk into it. Don't be silly. I think you want to face away, and then your laser will go in. So here, here. No. No, wrong one. There. Nice. So we've got 4 laser drill prechargers. These are the guys that accept power. The laser drill in the middle doesn't need power. He just sits there and does his thing. He receives power from the prechargers. Each precharger has a capacity of using 5,000 RF per tick. So 4 prechargers in total equal 20,000 RF per tick. That's going to hit the laser drill in the center. The laser drill in the center will then... And by the way, I'll probably want a tesseract if I can get one going. Maybe today will be the episode that I automate the tesseract creation because we're starting to get to the point where we're going to want a lot of these. But we'll take care of that in a minute. Let's talk instead about chests. You know what? Let me get the stuff I need to automate tesseracts because I really do need one right now, and I'd rather have the auto crafting system ready to go. So tesseracts, let's teach it what it needs to know. Tesseract. What do you need for the tesseract frame? You need hardened glass or fused quartz. Do you know how to make fused quartz? No. Hardened glass. You have some, but you don't know how to make it. Okay. I'll be back in a minute. All right, guys, we're back, and we're ready to take a look at something. So 1 obsidian will make 4 of this stuff, right? And that goes right into here. Cool. So that'll make pulverized obsidian. You can see right now we're cooking up Certus quartz. So if we told this guy to go ahead and make pulverized obsidian times 1, start, that should go into there and make 4. Awesome. And then I believe you get 2 hardened glass from alloy smeltery, right? 1 lead and 8 obsidian dust. So we're going to teach that recipe now. 1 lead yields 1, 2 hardened. Now the problem is that I ran out of slots right here. And this is the one that does alloys. So what I did is looped it back here and have another interface ready to go in there. So I should be able to request hardened glass, let's say times 10, start, and you can see it's going. Nice. And of course it's, you know, outputting to the top still, so it's landing in there and making its way back in. So an easy way to tap into another one. I was capped out on cable channels here, so I had to reroute a little bit just to get a little bit more channels into here, but we're cool now. We're good. I think this guy, if we wanted to take a quick peek, taps into here, which is currently 7 of 8 channels, and that leads up into here, which is 27, which taps in here somewhere. We're at 27. Nice. So we're good in terms of channels, so we're cool. Just want to take a quick peek at that. And now we can make hardened glass, which means we should be able to teach this thing how to make tesseracts, because we know how to make all the other components, right? So we can switch this back to crafting mode. We'll say tesseracts. We can request 4 of these, please. Start that up. And that'll probably take a minute or so to craft. So meanwhile, I'll put this stuff away that I don't need at the moment. I probably want to snag my diamond chest. Let's pop down here and see how my obsidian is doing. I stole obsidian from this igneous extruder. I should make a storage bus on here so that that's always available, but we'll get to that in a bit. You're cooking up the last of this stuff? Nice. So now we can say tesseract, frame, and code. Nice. So now we know how to make the tesseract frame. We'll throw that in a just regular old crafting interface. Let's figure out how we're going to do the full. So that's 4 resonant ender plus a tesseract. All right, we will figure that out in a minute. All right, so let's see what we can do next. Let's try, we're getting close on space here. How about, that's tight too. I guess here and here is good. So magma crucible, which we will configure. So top is import, right is output. Configure left input and top output. That should be cool. And then we'll probably want to do an interface right there. That sounds like a cool plan, right? And I'm going to put item ducts. I'm going to close this off so nothing going there. I'm going to close this off so no, well, do I have another filter? I do have another filter in my AE system, I think. Nice. So what we'll do is we'll do the following. We will say what's allowed to go in here? Ender pearls. What's allowed to go in here? We will whitelist tesseracts. This guy we will whitelist ender pearls. You will have the extractor on it. That will extract everything. And then we can just run our cabling, which I might have put away already because I'm a derp. And that should bump us up to 8 channels in use there. And we should be cool with that. Nice. And then this guy's at 28, so we're good. Cool. So then what we do is we say, let's go ahead and put four ender pearls in here. We'll put a tesseract in here. And then we just need some power. There we go. Getting a little cramped in this base. I don't mind telling you guys. So let's see. That gets us that stuff. 1, 2, 3, 4. This thing's going to quickly fill up. And then when it's done, we're going to set this guy to a whitelist of what's allowed in there. And it'll wind up being the full tesseract frame. Meanwhile, I'm going to request another empty tesseract frame. That should get that king cooking. Cool. Awesome. And then we go up here to our custom crafter and we say ender pearls times 4. Well, you know what? This has to be one of these patterns. Can I do this then? 4 ender pearls plus what's eventually going to be an empty tesseract frame will yield the creation of a full tesseract frame. And I guess while we're waiting for that to craft, I can put that in here in the hardened filter. So that goes back into the ME interface. Cool. Still crafting. Crafting 2 Enderium ingots. Cool. Are you stuck again? Oh, you are. You are terrible. This thing does get stuck. I'm going to have to fix it at some point. Encode this pattern. And the pattern goes in here. So that now if I request a tesseract frame full, next, start, what we should see is ender pearls in here. The tesseract frame is here, that's empty. Don't know why you're not going into there, though. Why are you not going through? You're whitelisted. Interesting. Are you configured? Oh, derp. Whitelist. Tesseract frame. There we go. And then we'll probably, you know what I can do? I have a solution. We'll tell it to output out the back. Then we can, oh, I did not want to do that. I just wanted to remove the one. I'll just sneak back there and put it on the back. And that can pipe its way over to here. Cool. And then we got it. Nice. So I'm just going to request one more tesseract frame so I can whitelist that thing again on this thing. Weren't you whitelisted for ender pearls? Yes, you are. Okay, good. All right, we're cool. Excellent. All right, so now the last step. Teach this thing how to make a proper tesseract. Encode that into here, and we should have automatic tesseract creation from start to finish. Start. Nice. How cool is that, huh? So we should be good. All I need is another empty tesseract frame to put on the whitelist, but we'll be back in a minute when that's ready. Now the cool thing about this, guys, is I should be able to use the exact same system to create the redstone energy conduits that we need. So if we take a look at flux ducts here, we should see that we have them. Nice. So we come in here, we say flux ducts are made with the following. Empty redstone energy flux duct yields a full redstone energy flux duct when combined with 2 redstone. Encode that pattern, and he goes into the same interface that has the chest, which I think is probably this one. So we put that in there. 1 redstone energy flux duct with 1 empty flux duct and 2 redstone. So what I should be able to do now is say, hey, can you make for me redstone energy flux ducts times 20. Start. So what that should start doing is cooking up some electrum for me after the ender pearls and stuff are done, and then send stuff down here. So we'll come back in a minute when that's ready. Okay, so it sent it down here, and now we just have to add the whitelist. So you get redstone, and you get empty these guys. Cool. Look at that. Cruising. And I guess if we really wanted to be fancy about it, we could say that this is a pattern. So Enderium plus 3 of these and 3 redstone yields that. And we'll put that in the crafting interface. So advanced auto crafting with applied energistics. Good stuff. Let's come back here. Let's do this. We'll ask for about 10 of these. Nice. That's awesome. So now let's go downstairs and tap into our power lines and see how our lasers are going to work. We've got an extra tesseract ready to go. I'll just leave it in the A system for now. I'm going to put this guy up here. And we'll tap him into main power. Set to receive energy. That's the line, I believe. If I'm wrong about that, let me know. That this guy is on. He's on frequency 2, actually, so that's probably where I should be tapping into. Let's rename this guy. go. So now your main power, your reactor out, frequency 3. So your main power, check, receiving energy, and we'll use this stuff. Because remember I told you guys this is going to require a hefty investment of power, 20,000 RF per tick. Now before we actually tap into this, what we should probably do is one more thing, which is going to be to get some red alloy ingots, or red alloy wire. Can I craft this with this thing yet? No. I should probably teach this thing, but you guys have seen me play enough with this for a little bit. Random explosions, don't mind. Cool. So we're going to do some advanced redstone stuff in a moment here to handle what I want to handle, but for now, that'll take care of the red alloy wire we need, and probably a lever. Okay, so the chest will go on top. And we're going to want some intelligence around when to turn these on. So if you apply a redstone signal to these things, and I'll show you what I'm talking about in a moment here, I'm wondering if I could just go, you know what would be fun would just be go right over it. That would work. Cool. So you'll notice here that these guys are not doing anything, obviously, because they don't have any power. Let's get that remedied. So this guy has now got plenty of energy, and he is sending energy into the laser drill, which is operating. Okay, he's currently not idle now. If we apply a redstone signal, you need to apply it to the laser drill pre-chargers. That will make it idle. That will pause the progress of work here. Okay, so we'll turn it off. We'll let it run again. Probably going to need a few more of these. I forgot I was going to be putting power into the top. And the rest is just going to take a moment to craft, but that's cool. Awesome. So now this thing should be cruising, right? When this work is completed, it's going to generate a random ore and dump it into the chest. Ta-da! Ores. So let's let that run for a minute and see what our power system's doing. Yeah, our reactor's online and we're generating 3,000 RF per tick, but that means we're using like 20,000, which is insanity. So it's a huge amount of RF being used. That's fine. You know, so like if I switch this to manual mode here for a moment and went to the turbine and remove the coils, you'd see our energy use is somewhere around 21,000 overall for our base. Like that's no joke, right? So let's switch this guy back to automatic functioning mode. And everything goes back on. So let's take a look at how we're going to do some cool and nifty automation with 3 of these chargers, because I clearly don't have enough power for it. Alright guys, we're back, and obviously I've laid this room out in much the same way, duplicating pretty much everything that I had already. So let's check out the resonant. Awesome, I've got 30 more of these things. That goes with the additional 17 I have. And you've been producing all kinds of cool ores. Look at you go. Nice. Let's turn this off for a moment. Boom. And if I did this correctly, totally stopping the functionality. Awesome. So let's get our other levers in place here. And we're going to run power down like this. So let's do it to here. There. And there. Awesome. And there. So now these guys are all capable of running. Trying to think how I want to get this stuff back. I mean, clearly we've got this whole thing going on here. I could have a couple different options here. Like, I kind of like the way this looks. It looks kind of neat. But I don't know how I'm going to get things back to the main base. And I think if I did like item ducts, and if we look at resonant, there's no resonant. Yeah, okay. So give me a minute to think, and then we'll be right back. All right, guys, so let's see how this looks and works. Not too shabby, right? Looking good. Now, it'll probably eventually be an ME interface, but let's turn this lever off. This thing should start generating work once these guys have their idle time cooldown finished. Okay. So then you kick on, and an item should zip. Nice. Look at it go. Awesome. So we'll let that get over to here. Looking good. Sweet, it was a firestone on. So now, let's talk about the last thing that we're going to do in this build. All right, because this circuit's a little bit complicated, I'm going to lay it out here, and then we're going to move it downstairs for you guys to see it in action. So what I want to have, the last component of this that I haven't talked about are these slots here. There's actually focus crystals you can put in there that give you a higher chance per crystal, and there's 6 of them, so you can get a really good chance of getting certain things. So what I want to eventually have is something that'll get me Certus quartz, something that'll get me glowstone, and something that'll get me nether quartz. Probably in that order. And in order to accomplish that, we're going to want a circuit that will turn this on when it receives a redstone signal, which will be from the AE system saying, yes, I have enough, or no, I don't. So when it doesn't have enough, we'll have it activate a redstone signal. It'll go ahead and turn on this laser drill, and it'll make sure these two stay off. That's what we want the circuit to do. Okay. Once this one has enough, if this one's requesting, he'll be the second priority, and it'll make sure this one stays off if this one's on. Once he has enough, if there's a required amount here, this one will be allowed to turn on. So that's kind of what we want to do. So let's build our circuit out right here to check it out. And I have a couple gates that we're going to play with. And hopefully I remember how I set this up when I tested it. So the first thing we want to do is have a NOT gate, okay? And we're going to have some wire here leading to a lever. And then we're going to have a wire here with a wireless transmitter. Cool. And we'll make him frequency like 100 for now, that's fine. And then we're going to have a... I'm going to also need my screwdriver. Do I have that in here? I do. So next we're going to want a NAND gate coming out of here, a not AND gate, and we're going to shift click that dude. And we'll probably want some strips. I might have some handy. Good, oak wood strips, that'll do. I clearly tested this ahead of time in my single player world, as you guys can probably tell. Because I'm not that good at redstoning that I would be able to do this off the top of my head. And then this goes out to here. So this is like the first, this is the second, okay? And then finally we have an AND gate here. Pretty sure it's an AND gate. I forget if it was an AND or an AND, but we'll find out in a minute. Coming in at 100. Going off to there. So let's say that we don't have enough of anything. Okay, so yeah, this was a NAND gate, I think. So we're going to need a couple more cathodes. Get a bunch. One of these days I'll teach the A system, but not today. Didn't mean to shift click that, but that's okay. Cool. All right, so notice now that All three of them are being requested. So I want Certus, I want glowstone, I want nether quartz, right? But the only one that's not receiving a redstone signal, which means the laser's allowed to run, is the first one, okay? Once he's been fulfilled, his redstone signal turns off. Notice now the only one that's running is the second one, okay? Once he's been fulfilled, boom, now we've got the third one's allowed to run. If at any point, so for example, all of a sudden I need more Certus, boom, the third one's turned off and the first one's allowed to run again. Until the Certus is fulfilled, now the third one, which will be the nether quartz, for example, will be allowed to run until he's done. If this one needs to run, boom, you'll notice he's allowed to run. And finally, if this one needs to run again. So pretty much any condition you can imagine, the one on the left takes priority over the one on the middle, and then the one in the middle takes priority over the one on the far left, and you get what I'm saying. So let's move this downstairs. Okay, so it was, let's get our NOT gate here. Okay, and then coming off of one of these, it really doesn't matter where it is, but this will be the wireless transmitter on frequency 100. Okay, and then from here, we'll want to tap into what'll probably be a NAND gate. I didn't actually test this part of it, by the way. And we want to kill that left light. There we go. No, we want him to output to that way. So we want the NAND gate here, and we want to kill the backwards light. There we go. And this will run a lever to... Well, you know what? Hang on. Let me do this a little bit different. All right, so here we'll come up and we'll say that we are outputting a NAND gate signal from here. We will kill the right connection. This will come through to here. And then this will be our signal for that. And then the same deal here. We will run this over to here. Make sure to have strips here to prevent any connection to existing stuff. And we'll say, so this piece here will be replaced with the NAND gate. All three will be enabled. And it'll be coming from over here, coming from over there, and then the receiver. So this was NAND, this was NAND, and this was not. That's how it goes. Wireless receiver on frequency 100. Cool. So let's test this real quick. If we want this one to run, we flip the lever. Notice that if these three are requesting, it doesn't matter. As long as this one needs to run, he's going to run. He's got his active going. Once we flip this off, the middle one's allowed to run, but not the left one. Once the middle one's off, the left one's allowed to run, and then we flip this off. This by himself is allowed to run. Nice. Everything's working the way I want it to. So a little bit of complicated redstone wiring. It probably could have been a little bit nicer and neater, but it's pretty neat, I think. It's working well. So I'm going to turn them all on, as a matter of fact, for now, and we'll be back in a minute. All right, guys, so overall, we've got a pretty fancy system going down here. This is pretty much done. All I need to do is run like a smart thing down here for our AE system, that this will become an interface, and then instead of levers, obviously, we'll have level emitters that say, yes, I have enough Certus, yes, I have enough glowstone, yes, I have enough nether quartz. Cool. There's only one minor problem. In order to make those laser focus crystal things, I need 4 emeralds per. That's a lot of emeralds. You're also going to need stained glass white, which is not terribly hard to get. Just needs a little bit of white dye. Yeah, it should be easy. But the emeralds are hard because we only have 3 of them, and we're going to need 6, 3, 18, 18 times 3, 36. Yeah, we're going to need a lot. We're going to need like 54. Right, with my mental math there, emeralds, and we have 3. So I think next episode we're going to have to look into getting more emeralds, because that's kind of like one of the few resources that we usually need a decent amount of and currently do not have automated. So we'll come back next episode. I considered, by the way, adding emeralds to this line, but decided not to because I knew I was going to do a different route with emeralds. So we'll come back next time. We will get an emerald farm going of some form, and we'll see what happens. So for now, direwolf20 signing off. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode. We'll be back next time. Take it easy.